Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is Monday. We have 4 games today to discuss, so let's get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. What a crazy weekend of football. It was the best football weekend I've ever watched. All the games going right down to the wire. Insane, especially that Bills game last night. Hopefully you guys watched that. But let's go ahead and get into the NBA slate today. As always, if you want to join us, you can visit the website. Link is in the description. You can check out Prize Picks to get some free money there when you sign up. And you can check out my Twitter for updates at the DFS process. We only have a 4-gamer today, so not going to be a super long video, but I wanted to go ahead and touch on the important news that we have already and the news that we'll probably get. So starting off at point guard as usual, you have Devin, Booker, Garland, and SGA. All similarly priced. Booker is coming off of a terrible shooting performance, but otherwise he's been really good. Besides that game, 5 of 23. This happens every once in a while. Even these guys are not going to shoot great every single game. You have Darius Garland, who's having to do everything for the Cavs, and he's been really solid in terms of just getting you double-digit assists, scoring 20-plus points, playing big minutes. Going up against the Knicks isn't a fun spot, as the Knicks, they don't play super fast. The Cavs also don't play super fast, but Garland at 93, I still think he looks like a pretty good option. And then you have SGA at 9,000 going up against Chicago. We'll see. Zach LaVine potentially has a chance to return. I mean, SGA at this price tag does give you upside. I think all three you can make a case for. The Suns are going to be missing Ayton. Looks like he's doubtful, and Jay Crowder is out. But I think Garland might be my favorite out of those three. If LeVert does happen to be back today, he looks great. He's currently a game-time decision. We haven't seen him in the last couple of games. Hopefully he returns today because there's still no Sabonis and there's no Brogdon, so he would get a ton of usage. Chris Paul at 86 probably looks a little bit better than if you wanted to save some money from Devin Booker. He's been as solid in terms of fantasy points. 16 assists last game, 55 fantasy points. He played 41 minutes in that one with Booker having an off night shooting. Chris Paul picked it up with 8 of 11. Just not taking a ton of shots. Really tries to get his teammates involved. Can get you a couple rebounds, get you some steals. Still a very good defender. Other guys that look appealing, I probably won't pay 72 for Conley. Giddey is not the best price at 73. Kobe White is up to 7K, so probably passing that range. Clarkson, the Jazz could be very shorthanded today. There's no Donovan Mitchell, who's already ruled out. Bogdanovich hurt his knee, I think, late in that game. So there's a chance he's out, and Gobert was limping at the end, so there's a chance Gobert is out as well. And who knows, maybe they decide to hold Conley out on a back-to-back just because it's a 3 and 4 for them as well. And Conley, I started playing back-to-backs, but you never know with the Jazz. Other picks that will look good for value is definitely Alexander Walker. There's no Brandon Ingram today for the Pelicans, so Walker would get a nice bump in usage. Alvarado has started to play a lot of minutes for them off the bench, and he would get some more usage at 36. He looks like a good value pick. So those are probably like 5 or 6 guys that look really appealing. If there's still no LeVert, you could look to like Skikes, but he's kind of cooled off a little bit in the last 2 games. Now, the guy I'm going to plug in right now is going to be Chris Paul. I just think he's a pretty good value at 86 compared to some of the other guys. At shooting guard, I like LeVert at 87 a bunch. You definitely can go down a little bit here in the 6K range to Duarte if Karis LeVert is still not able to play. I don't want to pay 7K for Bogdanovich. Clarkson looks decent at 67. Ingles will get more usage, but 5K is probably where he should be priced, even with them missing a couple of guys. Do you have a lot of value here with Jeremy Lamb at 4,000, Okoro at only $3,800. So those guys look somewhat appealing, but I'll probably go Alexander Walker over Okoro. And then you even have like Chetty Osman with the Cavs missing Markkanen now. They're going to be needing somebody else to step up. But I think also didn't mention Devontae Graham at the point guard position, but I'm going to plug him in at the guard spot just because he's going to get, assuming he plays at least, he'll get a nice amount of usage. He'll probably take almost 20 or close to 20 shots without Brandon Ingram. I mean, there's just so much usage to be had. Especially with Josh Hart being like 74. Probably like to get to Devontae Graham a little bit cheaper. But small forward right now, don't see going with anybody that's super expensive. I mean, Barrett is 76. Great game last time out, but Kemba might play today, so that would take a little bit less usage away from Barrett. Burks is a pass. Duarte looks fine at his price, 64. You have a couple of great values here. First guy that really sticks out. I mean, now like also Cam Reddish is going to be playing. He only played 5 minutes, so that was surprising. But there's a chance he plays a little bit more today. I mean, they did trade for him, so they want to make him a part of their future. But the guy I'm going to plug in right now is Cam Johnson at 39, just because there's no Jay Crowder. You'll see Cam Johnson jump into the starting lineup, probably get over 30 minutes. We've seen him shoot the ball well this year. He can get you, over 30 fantasy points. I wouldn't be surprised. Moving on to power forward, Randall at 97 is, fine, but I'd probably like to get to DeRozan at 91. Mobley is 8,000. That's going to be a little bit tough for me to get to, so I'll pass on him. I think you can go to Kevin Love. A little bit cheaper, you have Herb Jones at only 47. He looks good as just a value pick that can have a big game in terms of blocks and steals, and he's been shooting the three at a respectable clip, especially as of late. So he looks like a pretty good value pick on the Pelicans if you need one. And in terms of going all the way down here, maybe you can look to some of these Utah guys like Pascal if he decides, or if he happens to start, or Dean Wade if he happens to start. But the guy I will plug in right now is probably going to be like DeRozan at 91. At center, center is pretty interesting today because you have Valanciunas, who looks good just without Brandon Ingram. But you also have some other guys with Ayton doubtful. You saw Biyombo go absolutely bonkers. McGee go bonkers as well in limited minutes. Well, Biyombo went for 50 plus, but McGee also had a good game. Herb Jones has a value at 47. Noel with Mitchell Robinson most likely not going to play. He's only 42. And I don't think Gobert will play today after dealing with a calf injury. So I doubt he'll play in this back-to-back set, which makes Hassan Whiteside, if he does happen to play, look very appealing. He missed with conditioning. I expect him to play. But right now, I'll plug in Batadze. If we get word that Whiteside is going to play and start and that Gobert is out, then you should probably go to Whiteside over Batadze. But Batadze looks good right now. He's been solid last couple of games, playing good minutes. He got ejected against the Warriors, but going to be looking at like 35 minutes or so without Sabonis. I'm assuming he's not in foul trouble, which he typically isn't really a guy that fouls a lot. So plug in Batadze there. And we have 55-33 left for another spot here. And I think at the utility, if you wanted to go with another center play, definitely can go to like Valanciunas or Whiteside. If you want to leave one center spot open. At the forward spot, go with the guy in like the 5K range. Bridges looks good at 58. He's been producing at a solid clip. But I'm going to plug in Herb Jones just because he's pretty affordable at 47. He looks a little bit better than like paying up for Josh Hart, I would say, at 74. But Graham and Herb Jones got to get to a couple of Pelicans without Brandon Ingram makes sense. I think Alexander Walker looks like another good guy to try to get to if you need one at only 38. But I feel pretty solid about these 6, at least as a starting point. I mean, we'll be able to make changes as we get news. But that's it for DraftKings. Let's go over to FanDuel. So, point guard plays. FanDuel's priced some guys at a insane clip. Chris Paul is up to 10.3. SGA is 10.2. Garland is only 87, so definitely prefer Garland over those other guys. Are just way too expensive. Other guys in the 5K range would be Clarkson, looks good at 56. You can get to Conley, Kobe White. And in the 4K range, you have Alvarado at 41. But I'm going to go with Garland at 87. Play my 2 spots, but he's way too cheap compared to Chris Paul and SGA. Same thing at shooting guard. Devin Booker, DeRozan look a lot better than SGA, just saving a lot of money. Go with like LeVert. If he plays at 79, he's just really affordable. He'll be a great option. Josh Hart looks great at 65. Giddey, RJ Barrett look more appealing. Pass on like Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, Torrey Craig. They're kind of priced up. Especially if LeVert does play, that's going to hurt those guys. Need a value pick. Definitely Devontae Graham at 52 looks appealing still. You can play him at 2 spots, so that makes him very easy to get to. Small forward, DeRozan looks to be a great option, but I'm going to go with Josh Hart. Just a lot different. His price tags on both sides. 65 is too cheap on FanDuel. Other guys for a value pick would be like Still, you can look to Cam Johnson, even though he's 5,000. He looks better on DraftKings, though. And then you can go down to like Joe Ingles at 4K. He looks better than 5K on DraftKings. And Alexander Walker still looks good at 38. Power forward Randall is probably going to be super popular. I mean, he's fine. Other guys would be like Mobley or Jared Allen. Save some money. Mobley will probably get more minutes without Markkanen. And he's been pretty solid this year in terms of just doing everything. Bridges, 61. He's had a couple of good games and will get more minutes today without Jay Crowder. And you can look to like Kevin Love as a value pick. Maybe like Pascal if he starts. Looks fine. And Cook has been getting more minutes if he happens to start again without Zach LaVine if he's not able to play. Looks a good value. You can even go with like Robinson Earl. And then at center, it's a spot where it's going to be a little bit tricky. Gobert, 10-4. I don't think he's going to play. So you're going to be looking at Whiteside. Valanciunas looks great at 75. Allen looks good at 77. Batadze looks good at 62. And then you can go with Noel, but you have $5,100 Hassan Whiteside. If he does play, it's a 9 o'clock start, but I think we'll know if Gobert is out or not early in the day, at least, and because with it being a back-to-back, hopefully. But 51 is very affordable for Whiteside. I mean, if we don't get that news and you're kind of stuck after 8 o'clock, you can go down to McGee at only 47. But I think Whiteside, if he does play and start, you're going to probably want to have him at 51. Going up against McGee especially, like, should be able to have success in that front court. But that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will see you all next time.